So, it looks like Leeds are finally making some moves. And talk about leave it to the last minute. It is deadline day as we are recording this. We're going to talk about some of the transfers that are happening today, some of the things that are going on in the world of Leeds United. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that button down below to support the channel. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Connor Roberts. That's the name on everybody's lips. Connor Roberts looks as though he is going to be announced as a Leeds United player any minute now. As of the time you are watching this, it might already have been announced. He had his medical this afternoon, according to Phil Hay, on loan from Burnley, and Burnley only allowed him to go this late in the window because that was after they were able to get their right back target in. So Connor Roberts has become available. It is a straight loan, apparently. Deal to the end of the season, should really help us out. If you want to know more detail about Connor Roberts, check out my video from a few weeks ago where I did Jed Spence out, Connor Roberts in. That's on the thumbnail. And I did a more statistic breakdown of Connor Roberts, but I think in general, and the conclusion from that video was that he'd be a very, very good player to bring in. It's a sensible move. It's a good player to bring in. He's a top-end championship player, lower-end Premier League player, if you will. And I think the connection that he has with Joe Rodon, obviously playing internationally right next to him with Ethan Ampadu in front of them or even next to them at times, and then Daniel James down that right-hand side, he's already got that connection with the Wales national team and that rapport with those players. So I think he'll come in and he'll fit in straight away, and that's always a good thing. Especially for a lone player coming in the January window till the end of the season, you need to bed in quickly. And I think having Welsh teammates in the Leeds team, and especially in positions that are actually complementing his, and we'll be working with his, I think that can only be a positive thing. I think it's a very good deal to get him on loan, just to push us towards that promotion. It's just what we need. And I think it should be announced any minute now, and I think that'll be a fantastic deal for Leeds United just to try and push us towards that promotion. So Connor Roberts gets a big thumbs up from me. The next one is Jan Poveda. Jan Poveda seems as though he is on his way out of the club. He's got only 6 months left on his contract, the winger, and if he was to go out on loan, and it does seem to be that he's going to go, or not on loan, he's going to go out to Sheffield Wednesday, and I don't think it'll be a loan. It'll be either a permanent deal now or just a loan till the end of his contract, a bit like what we've done with Ayling. Not 100% sure on that. Apparently there was an option to recall Ayling from his loan if we weren't able to get anyone in the window at right back. But obviously, hopefully by now we'll have Connor Roberts, and that'll allow then, of course, Luke Ayling to stay at Middlesbrough, and then Jan Poveda will make his way to Sheffield Wednesday, and I wish him all the best, to be honest. He's had a bit of up and down in his career so far, and I hope he gets a bit settled somewhere and maybe then makes his way back up a little bit in the pecking order to a much better club than Sheffield Wednesday. That was an intentional dig. The other one that we have heard hear of, if that's a saying, I know it's definitely not, but is Harry Souttar. Now, Harry Souttar, I first sort of heard of him at all during the World Cup. And when I watched him during the World Cup, he was a real standout. I think I watched every game in that World Cup bar one. And that was Argentina-Saudi Arabia, when Saudi Arabia beat Argentina in their opening game against each other. So I watched every Australia game that he played in, and I thought he was magnificent. In the defensive unit that he was in and what he had to do and the way he had to play in that Australian team was obviously try and break us down, and we will try and counter-attack you. We're going to be tight. We're going to be solid. And so I think as a defensive defender, he was actually brilliant, Harry Souttar, at stopping anything that came past him. He was a very good reader of the game. He was a strong tackler. One-on-ones were great. I thought he was fantastic during that World Cup and really stood out to me as one of the best players in that Australian team. Obviously then earning his move to Leicester City whilst they were still in the Premier League. It hasn't worked out particularly amazingly for him there, but he has had a lot of first-team action. He has had a lot of game time, and like Daniel Farke said, and like I mentioned that he'd said the other week, he wants a player in the January window who has been playing regular football and who has at least played a bit of football over the last 6 months and hasn't just been injured or sat on the bench for that entire time. And I think Harry Souttar kind of falls into the category of he has had some game time and he has, over the past couple of years, played plenty of football. And so I think for Leeds, it kind of falls into a similar category for me to what we were talking about with Chris Mepham and what we were talking about with that other defender that we were linked with the other day, whose name currently escapes me, and I can't remember for the life of me who it was. I know I made a video on it as well. Comment down below, you'll know. Someone who's watched my other videos, you'll know. But basically, that sort of Chris Mepham mold of player where really good defensively, but in terms of actual passing and being able to get the ball forward, it's Joe Worrell. It's literally the video from the other day, from yesterday, isn't it? Oh my God. Yeah, my brain's gone to mush during this transfer window because nothing's happened. But yeah, Joe Worrell, Chris Mepham, that kind of mold of player where, yes, they're very good defensively, they're very solid, good at one-on-ones, all those sorts of things, but are they the best at passing out from the back? Are they best at carrying the ball forward and breaking the lines? I would like to think that Harry Souttar can perform that role okay, but I don't think he would be ahead of somebody like Joe Rodon or Pascal Struijk in either of those categories. I think defensively, yes, he'd be very solid, and I think he'd be a good signing. But given the fact that you can only play centre-back, really, I wouldn't have expected him to be able to play right-back or left-back. He's kind of coming in to be a backup. And when you've got Joe Rodon and Pascal Struijk as your starting centre-backs, you kind of want somebody like a Charlie Cresswell, who is a young player coming in as a backup. I really like Harry Souttar. Like I say, I really liked him during the World Cup. I really appreciated the way he played and a solid defensive performances that he put in as that's kind of what I like to see as somebody who used to play as a defender in amateur football. I like to see somebody who's tough tackling. I like to see somebody who's no nonsense. They always do their job right. They can read the game well. Harry Souttar's got that in spades. But what I worry about is if we do get him, there's no guarantee of that anyway. Look, this one's a rumour, and there's a possibility that Leicester say, no, there's no way we're selling to or loaning to a title rival. But then at this point, with Leicester being so far ahead, do they care? Don't know. This one's a bit up in the air, but I wanted to talk a little bit about Harry Souttar because I do think I like him as a player. Is he the best fit for Leeds United, though? I'm not sure. So in summary, Connor Roberts is a big thumbs up for me. Jan Poveda, I think, is a deal that he had to make and a move he had to make. His minutes were always going to be limited. Harry Souttar seems to be one where I'm not 100% sure whether it would be a good fit for Leeds. This is going to be it for this video. But if anything else happens, or the Connor Roberts deal breaks down, or anything crazy happens, on all of that don't go to bed just yet stuff, I will be making more videos, but that will come out tomorrow, so you'll see that after deadline day. So this is a video to cover off everything that's happened on deadline day so far. There could be more, but you'll see that in the morning. Probably at 12 o'clock tomorrow if anything happens. But if it doesn't, then just look forward to Friday evening's football, where Leeds are taking on Bristol City, and I will be doing a live watch along for that. So come and join me on the channel at whatever time that game kicks off, 10 minutes before we do, so we can go through the lineup and stuff, and then there'll be a match reaction. So plenty of stuff going on, plenty to subscribe for, so make sure you hit that big red button down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Leeds Lately.